Hey, I'm Jess.
And I'm Andrew.
And we are The Vamos Life. And today we are doing a camping recap of Flamingo Campground located down in Everglades National Park.
Vamos! So the first thing we're going to cover is how to get to Flamingo Campground. So Everglades National Park is located spread out across 3 counties in South Florida: Dade, Collier, and Monroe counties. We're going to talk about how to get into Everglades National Park from the Dade County entrance, which is located down south off of Florida City, right off the turnpike, and then you gotta go west a little bit. You're going to get off at exit 0 if you're coming on the turnpike, or if you're coming off of Chrome, you're going to get off at 344. Either way, you're going to make right and go west until you get to Robert is Here, which is a fruit stand that sells some amazing and delicious milkshakes.
So good.
Definitely worth checking out and stopping there for a couple of minutes. They also have a petting zoo.
They do.
So if you have the kids, stop there as well. Once you get to Robert is Here, you're going to make a left. You're going to go up the road. Then there's going to be a sign that says Everglades National Park. Make a right. You're going to follow that. It's going to turn into the Ingram Highway, and it'll take you to the front entrance of the Everglades National Park. Pay the admission, which I believe is either $25 or $35. If you have a America the Beautiful pass, it's already covered. I highly recommend that you get it.
Just get it.
Visit 3 national parks and you're good. Once you pass the visitor center and you pay the admission, then you have to do 38 miles down to Flamingo. So if you are low on gas, I highly suggest that you stop and fill up on gas, because there is nowhere to get gas until you get to the very end, and you don't want to get stuck on the road down to Flamingo. So just remember to keep that in mind. All right, guys, the next thing we're going to cover is camping at Flamingo Campground. So there's 4 distinct camping areas in Flamingo. There is the A Loop, which is for tents. There's the T Loop, which is for RVs and trailers. There is the walk up area, which is for tents, but if you have a lot of stuff, I don't recommend it, because you're gonna have to carry it from the parking lot, which could be a little far, but it does have a nice scene because it's on the bay.
Yeah.
And then there's also the eco tents, which are more, I guess you could say, a glamping experience.
Totally glamping.
They do have electricity. They are enclosed. They do have beds. They're pretty new.
Yeah.
They're like no more than a year or 2 old.
Yeah.
And a little bit more expensive as well.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to focus on A Loop because that's where we stayed at, and I'm going to hand it off to Jess to talk a little bit more about that.
So we showed up to the Flamingo Campground at 8:30 at night. It was super dark, but luckily we had our headlamps that we were able to put those on and assemble our tent. But since it was dark and it was after hours, they had a front kiosk there that had our reservation details, and it had all the information that we needed to put on our car, and gave us our campsite number 35. So one thing about the campsite is that there's no electricity at all, except for in the bathrooms. So if you are coming out here, be prepared to either have a generator or be prepared to cook when over the fire. There is one outlet that I did find in the women's bathroom that I could plug in my electric kettle to warm up some water, but there's no electricity at the sites. Luckily, the bathrooms is solar powered. It's pretty interesting and really neat. So it's able to give hot water for showers and charge your phone in there, because I saw a couple people doing that during the day.
Yeah, and just to interject real quick about the electricity. If you do have things that require electricity, such as your air mattress, or you want to charge your cell phone or your cameras or some necessary electrical device, be sure they're bringing an inverter, or that your car has a 12-volt outlet available as well. So that's what we were kind of doing to charge our cameras and our air mattress stuff and all that. So just keep that in mind.
So yeah, luckily we had the car with us that we were able to blow up our air mattress and charge our phones and all of our electrical devices. Also, there's no shade out there. Luckily, our campsite had one tree. There was some trees scattered around, but be prepared to be in direct sunlight. And when we were out there, it was pretty sunny. There were some clouds, but just be prepared to maybe bring a canopy or a tent of some sort to sit underneath it if you don't want to be in direct sunlight.
Yeah, one thing I would recommend is that on the reservation form, there's something for special requests that you could put in there. I would recommend that you ask for a shaded campsite, because there are a couple, but it's about 50-50.
Yeah.
So if you don't specify, you're taking that chance that you might be out in direct sunlight, and believe me, there's nothing fun about trying to be in a tent with the sun directly over your head.
It turns into a sauna.
Yeah.
So the campsites were very spacious as well, which is another good thing about this place. Our neighbors, I mean, you heard them talking, but you couldn't really hear them. So at night, it was really nice in that aspect. During the day, it was nice as well, but there was so much space. You weren't on top of each other.
Right.
At each campsite, there was a picnic table and there was a fire ring, so you're able to cook over the fire and also prepare your food on the picnic table.
One thing to keep in mind is that if you have Verizon cell phone service, you're not going to have any coverage down at Flamingo. As a matter of fact, you lose coverage about 10 miles out from Flamingo. The only people that have cell phone service are AT&T in that area, and if you need to get an important message out or you're expecting a phone call, not the best place to be. However, we did find one spot at the Flamingo Visitor Center that had open access Wi-Fi. So if you need to get out that important phone call or send out that important email or check a message that's urgent, go ahead and go to the Flamingo Visitor Center and connect to the Wi-Fi there. You have to be close to the trailer and you'll get a little bit of Wi-Fi access that way.
Yes.
Other than that, you're not going to get any signal until you start reaching Florida City once again on your way out. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is supplies for this camping expedition. So down in Flamingo, there is a marina store that will give you basic provisions for food and firewood and water and drinks and
any basic necessities that you need. Like they've got toilet paper, Tylenol, like little things like that.
Yeah, but it's not a fully stocked store. It's not a Walmart. It's not a Target. It's not Home Depot. So definitely make sure that you have pretty much everything you need before you go.
So one thing we also want to talk about is etiquette. When you're camping and there's other people around, just be respectful. And this is a reminder to respect quiet hours and to just maybe lower down your volume to your music.
Yeah.
We had a neighbor at our campsite that played music all day long, which it didn't bother me, but it was at the volume that it was at. And I think they did play it past 10 p.m.
They might have that first night.
Yeah.
The main problem with these people was not that they were playing music, because when you go camping, people are going to be playing music.
Yeah.
The problem was that they weren't being respectful of their neighbors. So how are they not being respectful of their neighbors? Well, they brought a speaker this big, right? And it had a serious bass that you could feel in your chest. I felt like I was at a nightclub in Miami or Ultra Music Festival. It was ridiculous, all right? So not only were they playing music for everyone in their campsite, but half of the whole camping loop as well. So of course it's going to draw attention. Someone's going to call it in, and sure enough they did. The campground host came over, had a conversation with them. We didn't see this, but this is something that we learned later. And apparently they started getting into it with the campground host. They're just trying to keep it orderly and a good experience for everyone there.
Yeah.
So that really ticked us off when we found out later. So how do we find out later? It got escalated. So we're hanging out. We had just come back from a hike. We're under a tree enjoying the shade, and the U.S. Park Ranger rolls up, and we look at each other like, uh-oh,
I know.
what do we do?
I know.
And
like, we didn't do anything.
It's like, I don't think we did anything.
No.
So they roll up and they start talking to us, and they ask us about our neighbors across the road. And hey, are they playing their music a little loud? And I said, it's it's a little unreasonable, I guess. It's like, no, because the campground host called and said that they talked to them and they got into some type of exchange of words or
I think they got
disrespect,
like a little lippy with them.
A little lippy. They were mouthing off to the campground host, and when I heard that, I was like, nah. So I was like, yeah, they've definitely been a little out of control, and it is what it is. The U.S. Park Rangers pulled in and they started looking around their campsite and just doing their jobs, and they weren't there, but they said they were going to look for them and give them a really good warning.
Yeah. So
30 minutes later, the U.S. Park Rangers come back. They said, we found them down the road, and we let them know that if they keep being a nuisance, that they're going to jail. And I said, great. So, but get a load of these people. So when they come back that night, they're not playing their music loud. but they have some kind of laser light show, disco ball thing that they turn on, and now they're putting on a laser show for half of the campground once again.
Yeah, it was like a disco dance floor too. I saw. I was like, what is
Yeah,
this?
we got a picture of that we're gonna go ahead and share in this video. It was a little ridiculous, but I guess it was better than the music.
I don't even know.
I don't know.
It was just over the top.
Yeah. The moral of the story, to wrap it up, is just be mindful of your neighbors and be respectful. Please no loud music that's excessive. Please no disco light show that's ridiculous. Just have a peaceful and quiet night.
Yeah. Enjoy the national park.
Enjoy nature.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Simply as that, because that's what everybody else is out there doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't want to ruin that for everyone
No.
else. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. So to wrap all of this up, Everglades National Park and Flamingo Campground is a great way to digital detox. And when I mean digital detox, you are not around any internet, you're not around any cell service, it's just you and nature, which is the main point of going out there to do. So,
Or you and your friends if you go with friends like we did.
Yep. So it was a great time to reconnect, to get off your phone. So go ahead, if you want to stay at this place, book ahead at flamingoeverglades.com. You can book ahead, I don't know how many weeks in advance, but just so you can secure a spot, because you don't know if it's going to be busy or not.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and drop a link in the description as well.
Yes.
And I think it was $25 a night for the A-Loop.
Yeah.
There's the bougie option, which is the eco tents, which is more glamping, and I think
it's
that
around
was
$100.
$90 to $100.
Something like that.
If we'll look it up and we'll try to put it on the screen.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel to follow along on our journey. And if you want to connect with us, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Vamos Life.
Yep. And we'll go ahead and leave the description to our social media profiles in the description below. And
we hope to see you out there.
We hope to see you out there. All right, guys. Until the next one. See ya.
Bye.